Illinois Stories is brought to you by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting and by the support of viewers like you. Thank you.
Hello, welcome to Illinois Stories. I'm Mark McDonald in Sparta at the World Shooting and Recreational Complex. This property used to be a coal strip mining operation, but now it's 1,600 acres of a one-of-a-kind shooting complex. All kinds of shooting sports goes on here. 1,600 acres year-round. In fact, in August, when the Grand Nationals are held here, more than 100,000 people will come to this property. Art Ashbrook, I just barely touched the surface of some of the dimensions of the shooting complex. 1,600 acres. And as you drive in here, and until people come here, they don't. You keep driving and driving and driving. And you keep saying, "Oh, I'm going to get there. I'm going to get there." And finally, some of the buildings come into view, and you say, "Okay, I'm at the shooting complex." But it's a remarkable piece of property. I mean, it used to be a coal mine.
Used to be a strip mine.
Until 7 years ago, or about 7 years ago,
2006, when we opened
as
up.
the World Shooting and Recreational Complex. And now you've got hundreds of thousands of people coming here from all over the country, don't you?
Yes, and literally all over the world. We had, during the Grand American, we had people from Africa, Australia, Europe, England, Canada, Mexico, we had Brazil. They come from all over to come here. This is one of the premier shooting venues in the world. I mean, it's 3.5 miles long of trap shooting. So you're right, when you get on the property and you think you're on the property, you still have 3.5 miles to go before you're actually, from start to finish of this thing. And that's just trap line.
And we're looking west at some of the trap line, and of course that's skeet up there. But so that shows you part of it. And then as we get a chance, we're going to look the other way too, because as far as I can see, it seems there are trap houses down there, and that's part of the trap line.
Where we're standing right now, you cannot see the end, and so it's very impressive. And if people haven't ever been here, you just really can't grasp it until you get here, because that's just one of the disciplines that we do here. We have. We'll take you later on and we'll show you different things. We have 2 sporting clay fields that you're can't even see from here. We have a Cowboy action shooting berm that we can't see from here, and then a main event center and all those kinds of things that we have. And then on top of that, we have 1,001 premium campsites, which means electric, water, sewer. And so you bring your RV here and you hook up, and
that explains how you can have 100,000 people come here for an event, because you got these massive campgrounds where they can stay.
Yes, so you have campgrounds, if you just average, 4 people per camper, which is a pretty good average. You're looking at basically overnight when these events come, it goes from no one living here to 4,000 people living here. And so it's very huge, very large. We have 300 acres of lakes. We mow 740 acres so that it's comfortable for people to be out here. So
we can see one of those lakes behind you. Now this was a lake formed by when it was a coal mine. This was a strip mine.
Yes.
Now it's filled with water. It's nice, cold, clear water.
Yes.
But you recommend people don't fish in this lake because it's so darn deep and falls off.
This is one of the lakes that we don't allow people to fish in, but we have over 300 acres of lakes that we do fish in. But this is so deep that when they left this coal mine, they left a miner in here. There's actually a shovel in here because they couldn't get it out, and so it's in here. But this one, it drops off to 100+ feet.
Wow.
Quickly.
Yeah.
And so we don't allow people to fish in this one, but it is beautiful out the back door of the main event center.
And that's where we're standing right now. This is the main event center. There's a restaurant inside. Right now it's not busy because there's not a big event going on here, but it is open for the shooters who would want to come up here for lunch.
Yeah, we have Joe Bacardi's in here, which is the restaurant, the people that own this restaurant, and then we have the great outdoor company that's the gift shop that's inside. We use this event for wedding receptions, home shows, any of those kind of events where 350, 400 people easily can be in here and be fed or whatever kind of banquets you want to do. So we do all of that out here on top of all the shooting events and everything else we do. We also have concerts out here. We had a concert that had right at 40,000 people here.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Who drew 40,000 people?
Tim McGraw and Trace Atkins.
Wow.
Those were the ones that were here last October.
An outdoor event.
Outdoor event. When you're shooting across to see the trap line to the east, the stage sets up right at the edge of that, and then it's just all right there. It's all one level. So that's the numbers that we had last year. So, and we try to do that we have small concerts here, but we try to have 2 or 3 large concerts a year to attract anywhere from 20 to 40,000 people.
Okay, now I got a question about how all this got set up, and you're the right guy to ask because you're a Sparta boy, right?
Yes, I am.
And you were involved with Sparta business through your whole life. How did the public works and the infrastructure get out here for this?
Well, when the city of Sparta, the state of Illinois, and we had a couple great House of Representatives and senators who, when the ATA were looking for a home, when their lease expired in Ohio and they needed a home, they took it upon themselves to say we can provide them with a home.
And what does ATA mean?
Amateur Trap Shooting Association.
Okay.
And so when they were looking for a home, we had congressmen and different people who went to them and said, we have the place. If you need the place, we have basically abandoned mining property that is just open space. What do you need? They gave us a wish list, and the state of Illinois stepped up to the plate and provided with the funds to build this. So the city of Sparta provided funds for some of the infrastructure. And technically, you're setting in the Sparta city limits. And because of that, the city of Sparta and the state of Illinois have worked very hard together to keep it one of the premier shooting facilities and recreational facilities in the world.
Yeah, and the city of Sparta was invested in this, and they're getting some return from it as well, aren't they?
You get sales tax dollars and that kind of stuff back from it, which is how they hope to recoup their portion of the money that they put into it. And so it's been a win-win for Southwest Illinois, Randolph County, and the state of Illinois. Lots of recognition for having a premier shooting place.
Let's go see some of these places you were talking about.
That's great. That's
All
great.
right. Art, we're on the very far west edge of the shooting complex here.
Yes, we are.
And this is called the sporting clay area.
Yes.
And what these fellows are doing here today is they're getting ready for a weekend event, I guess. And what they do in this sport is they move from station to station and they encounter different varieties of what would happen in a real bird hunting trip, right?
Yeah, all kinds of hunting trips. Like these are bird hunters. They're shooting like they're shooting quail is what they're doing right now, simulating quail or pheasant type of activity. But then we have other parts of this that you're simulating like you're on a rabbit hunt, or you're simulating like you're on a deer hunt, something like that, something that's running along the ground or something like that. But while you're still shooting clay targets, you're simulating what it would be really out in the wild, shooting on a regular hunting trip.
Yeah. Yeah, and this part, and that's what this part of the park is actually devoted to. That's what it's used for. And there probably aren't that many places that have this variety of shooting circumstances. Huh?
We have 2 sporting clay fields, 15 stations, and at each station is a different type of hunt. And so you can make the course as difficult or as easy as you want, depends on how you are. And with the St. Jude's shoot coming up this weekend, we are actually in the process of, these guys are actually practicing to get ready for that, but we're in the process of setting up the course for the event. And they'll, this event is an event that'll have 150 to 200 shooters for the next couple days, and it's not a huge event, but it's a really nice and fun event. It's a good event.
It looks like it'd be fun to watch because there's so much different stuff going on.
This is one that just you come out, and if you don't really get the chance to hunt or don't have a place to hunt, you still get that hunting stimulation.
Well, Bella, earlier in the program, we were talking a little bit about cowboy shooting. And we didn't really go into it because I thought, we'll get a chance to tour the cowboy shooting area. And you are the perfect person to do that with us. Because you and your husband, Mose, is that his name? Okay.
That's correct.
You are in charge of this, and you develop these scenarios when you have a cowboy shoot coming up. And there's one coming up this weekend, right?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow, okay. So what do you attempt to do? Like, for instance, we are looking at the Murphy and Wall Saloon.
Right. On this saloon, what you would do, this has got one of the very hard targets on it. It's called a Death Star. Okay. You would shoot 4 shotguns from the door. You would lay your shotgun down in one of the windows, pick up your rifle, and you would shoot the star, and the round red target.
Uh-huh.
What you'll do is you'll shoot the star until you get all the plates off, and then if you have any bullets left in your rifle, you would dump them on the red circle.
Okay.
And then you would lay that down, you would move to the next window and draw your first pistol and shoot the pistol targets in whatever scenario is designated at the time.
Okay.
And then you would shoot 5 from that pistol, reholster it, draw the other pistol, and shoot 5 more.
Wow. So if you run out of shots, it means you're not very good. I mean, you shouldn't be running out of bullets. You
have 10 rounds.
Okay. So you should always have some left. That means you're hitting, right? That means you're knocking them off.
Yeah, in theory, yes.
Yeah, okay.
That's a tough target.
Now you have had a certain amount of success in this sport, have you not?
I have. I've been shooting classic cowgirl is the category that I shoot. It is the most difficult women's category in SAS.
SAS means what?
Single Action Shooting Society.
Single Action Shooting. Okay, and
that's the national foundation or national organization.
Also called Cowboy Shooting. That's
yes,
sort of
Cowboy Action Shooting.
Okay,
right.
Okay, we're catching on to it.
Okay.
Here's another scenario that you and your husband have put together, and then we won't go through every little detail of this, but you can see that you got targets set up there,
right.
and I imagine there are shooting stations just like you had at the other one. Huh?
Correct. You'd start at the front, and this one you shoot your rifle first, and then you move to the next trough, and you grab your shotgun. And this one you actually move down range to shoot your shotgun. You'd shoot 2 here, and then you've got 2 over in the far corner, and 2 back over in this corner. And then you'd lay it down on that far table and shoot your pistols last at the end.
Okay, all right, very interesting. I don't think I could hit one of them, but
yeah.
we'll see. You're gonna demonstrate for us, right?
Absolutely, I'd be happy to.
Can't wait to see this. Now, you and your husband and everybody else that's in this sport, you actually have real identities, but you go by these pseudonyms, right?
Yes,
that's
we
what
call
you go
them
by.
aliases.
No, aliases. Okay, I call it. Okay, so your alias is Bella.
Yes, Bella Spencer.
And your husband's alias is Mose.
Mose.
Okay. Now we're going by another one of these scenarios. What do you call these setups?
Stages.
Stages. Okay, another stage. And we're going to finally get to the stage that is going to be set up for you. You and your husband have set up the Happy Trails Church.
Yes. This is one of our newest stages. We're kind of proud of it. It's got real stained glass windows.
Yeah. How neat.
This was all of the lumber and labor was donated by the local cowboy club, the Kaskaskia Cowboys. And well, all of these stages were built by them.
Yeah. That's wonderful. Okay. Now, you're going to demonstrate for us.
Okay.
Walk us through what you're going to do.
Okay. How have you got this one set up?
We're setting the Nevada sweep on the pistol, plate rack.
Okay.
2 shotguns on the knockdown, 2 shotguns on the stationary.
All right. Gotcha. Okay, the way I'm going to shoot this one is I will start in the doorway with my rifle. I'm going to engage those 6 targets on the plate rack.
The red, okay.
Right? And all my remaining targets will go in the circle.
Okay.
Okay? Then I'm going to move to this left window. And I'm going to restage my rifle. I'm going to grab my shotgun and shoot those 2 knockdowns. And then I'm going to come back to the doorway, shoot 2 more shotguns. Then I'll go back over to the window. And my pistols will be holstered in my rig. And then I will grab my pistols and do a Nevada sweep on those 4 squares.
Okay. And if you're successful, we'll know, right? Whether you made the shots.
Oh, yeah.
And if you have shots left, then you're good.
Well, I'm not going to have any shots left. We always shoot our guns empty.
Really?
Always. That's why that circle is there. I've got 6 rounds. I've got 10 rounds to take down those 6 plates. And if I have any left, then I need to dump them in that circle so that my rifle is empty and safe.
Okay, we're going to let you get ready.
Okay.
And we're going to pick this up when you're ready to do this shoot.
Okay.
Shooter ready?
Here we go, boys.
Stand by. 29.61.
Wow, Bella, let me ask you a question. How do you feel?
Great. That was a good time.
I'm watching it. I'm taking those blows on that gun for you.
Oh,
You don't feel
I don't
those,
even
huh?
notice.
Is that right? That was terrific. It took about, what, 19 seconds or something ridiculous like that?
Yeah, not
And
that
I don't
long.
think you missed one.
No, actually, it was pretty clean. I'm happy with that
Terrific.
one.
Thank you for the demo.
Oh, you're
This
very
is
welcome.
Great.
You're very welcome.
Well, Art, when you have a big trap and skeet event going on here, this place is hopping right here, isn't it?
This is pretty much, this is vendor row, and so this is where all of our vendors are, our vendor buildings. We have our 24 skeet houses here, and then we also have about a third of our trap houses. So you have the ability, right here is probably the busiest part of the whole trap line when you talk year round. This is where most of the activity goes on year round.
These big white buildings that we see here, for those of us who don't know much about shooting, those are called skeet houses.
Skeet houses.
What happens there?
Okay, you have a high house and a low house. High house is on the left-hand side, the low house is on the right-hand side, and when you holler pool, starts off coming from the high house and then one coming from the low house, and then you have come out at the same time. And so the game is to make sure you hit every bird every time, and you just keep calling them out until you get your 100 shots in, and you score out of 100 is what it boils down to. But again, it's more like a simulation of shooting birds that are flying back and forth in front of you.
Mm-hmm. What are these guys doing here?
These guys are shooting trap. You have a trap house out in front of it. Mm-hmm. It's the greenhouse out in front, and the clay targets are basically just shot at about a 45-degree angle. The machine going back and forth, and it launches the birds straight out. Mm-hmm. And the game of this is the better you get, you start out at 16 yards, and the better you get, you just keep backing up. And
okay.
so it ends up being a distance game is what it boils down to in the end.
And now they yell pull, and is that a voice activated? Is that how that works?
These are voice activated. You see the microphone out in front of them, and it's what do we call an electronic pull device. And when you yell pull, it sends it instantly. Mm-hmm. And so there's no delay. There's little room for human error this way. And then we have a scorekeeper right behind them, and the scorekeeper tells them if it's dead or if it got away. So
it actually it happens too fast for you to keep score yourself, doesn't it? I mean,
right.
because you really keep going.
And you want the pace to go, so it's just down the line. The first person in the first hole says pull. As soon as he fires his gun, the next one, it's his turn. And so you just keep going, and then the scorekeeper's keeping score behind you, and he's the one that says yes or no. It's pretty easy.
And this is part of, now this is not a big event for you. This is part of a weekend event, and
Yes.
there will be more people here throughout the weekend. But just to show you, this is not a big weekend, and there's a lot going on.
Yes. Well, this weekend we have the Fall Classic, and we're expecting in the neighborhood of 150, 175 shooters each day. And then we will have the St. Jude's Sporting Clays, so we will have another 150 to 200 people at the Sporting Clays. And then we have the SAS Cowboy action shooters this weekend as well, so we're probably expecting another 75 to 90 people there. And the facility is big enough that these people never cross paths. They all continue to do their own thing, and nobody intrudes on anybody else, and it's just a good time, and it allows people. And then we're still open to the public, so if you want to shoot, we have enough space that you come out and you can shoot skeet or trap or sporting clays or shoot at the pistol berm and all that. So
it's remarkable. We just had a look down there at all these skeet houses, and then we take a look back up here. And you say this is not all of them. This is just like a third of the skeet houses that
well,
you have.
this is all the skeet houses, but it's only about a third of the trap houses.
Oh, okay.
So we have 24 fields for skeet, and then 120 fields for trap. So yeah, it's about a third of the trap field, but this is all the skeet fields.
Yeah, and it's remarkable. If we look up here, you can see, okay, you've got these vendors buildings that go, well, I don't know how many buildings there are.
There's
a
4,
half dozen.
or
Oh,
5.
four.
There's
Okay.
5, I'm sorry.
All,
There's 5.
all the way up, and then there's what's the pavilion looking building?
The
up there
pavilion
on
is
top?
what we call the shell house or vendor mall, and during the huge events, that's where all the shotgun shells are sold. We will fill that completely full with shotgun shells, 3 to 5 semi-loads of shotgun shells for the big events, and that's where everybody goes to buy their shotgun shells and that kind of stuff. And then temporary vendors use a portion of that building as well, so they don't have a whole section of a building. They go there and then just rent it for like the week or 2 weeks and set up there and go like that.
And we have a chance to look back down here too, past the grandstand, and we see those are more vendor buildings down there. And on a busy weekend, like when you have the Nationals in here, for instance, that place would be buzzing because people need shells, they need everything that goes with the sport. There's food vendor. You might have as many as 80 food vendors in here as well. Right?
Yes, we bring in on top of there are 5 buildings and there's 42 vendors in the permanent buildings, but then we bring in on the major events, we bring in another 80 what we call temporary vendors or tent vendors. But if you need something for shooting and you can't find it here, it probably can't be found because all the major people are here. Yeah. And so anything, we have some of the top 4 or 5 gunsmiths in the world come to those major events. So if you need gun repair, they do gun repair within a day or two right here on the property. But any device or any equipment that you need to shoot, to hunt, to do anything, you can get it here when it's here. It's unbelievable. It's amazing.
Okay, Art, to put a little scope and size to the area we're in, we were standing at the main event center, which we can barely see from here. We've driven about 5 minutes by cart. And of course, we see the water tower there, which I opened the program with. And like I said, we've driven about 5 minutes, and we are sort of in the middle of one of the massive campgrounds. And you can really accommodate a bunch of folks here, can't you?
Yes.
Remarkable.
We have 1,001 campsites, RV campsites. They're
1,001.
1,001. Okay. I don't know why.
Right.
I don't know why 1,001, but we have 1,001 campsites, and it's just a beautiful facility now. You're out here, you see everything. You still can't see the end of the trap line.
Well, let's just take a look
and
down there for just a minute, because we did say we saw trap houses as far as the eye could see when we were back up there, and then we've driven 5 minutes and I still don't see the end of the line.
Yeah, you still can't. And we're not too far from one of the big lakes. Just on the other side of that of the camper that you see as far down there as you can. About another quarter mile past that is where you put in to go to the lakes. And so we have a north loop of the campground and a south loop of the campground, and then again we have about 3 miles of just stacked camping for RVs and all that. And over there we have the bathhouse, shower house, and all that kind of stuff. And so we try to provide people with those kind of amenities when you're out here. If you want a little more space to take a shower than in your RV, but you have those opportunities. Right. But yeah, we're still not to the end of the trap line. We probably got, I don't know, close to a mile before we're completely to the far east end of the 3.5 miles worth of trap line.
When you fill up here, when you have the nationals here, the trap shooting nationals here, and you fill up, you've got all of these campsites full. What do people do for an alternative? I mean, there's really, except for going to St. Louis, there's no large places to stay, are there?
Well, we pretty well occupy all the hotels and motels within about a 45-mile radius. Belleville, Waterloo, Columbia, Fairview Heights, to the southwest, and then all the way down to, then you just kind of circle around. Redbud, Sparta, Pinckneyville, DuQuoin, Marion, Carbondale, all the way over to Mount Vernon.
They all enjoy business.
Oh yes.
When this thing fills up.
And that's what we're saying. This is great for Southwest Illinois. When we have those major events, you put your finger on Sparta and you draw about a 55-mile circle, and those hotels are full. You have a hard time getting a hotel if you're coming here for any other reason than that during those major events.
And this spot right here is the biggest city in Southwest Illinois at that time when you have those major events. You got 100,000 people here.
Exactly.
There's nothing else like
There's nothing else like it. When we have those events and there's 100,000 people coming through here for those 10 days, yeah, there's nobody else that's close.
You mentioned that lake, and I bring it up because this is also called a recreational center, not just a shooting center, but a recreational center. Can we take a look at that fishing lake down there?
Yeah, let's go take a look.
Well, there have been some fishermen out today. I guess that's not unusual, is it?
No, there's people fish here every day. Just don't know how many every day, but there are people that are fishing all the time.
And there's no charge?
No.
You come out here, you put your boat in, go out. This is what, called East Lake?
This is East Lake.
How many acres? You want to take a guess at that?
You're probably looking at that 120 to 140 acres.
That's a good-sized lake.
Yes.
And what do they catch out of here?
Bass, crappie, bluegill. One of our other lakes, we do release, during the release program, we do release some of the lake trout and that kind of stuff. Channel cat. So a lot of the, Illinois species of fish are in this lake.
It's a nice, clear lake.
It's very nice. And that's some of the benefits of strip lakes, because they usually dig down to a rock bottom. And once they hit hard rock bottom, then that's when they're done. And so those lakes don't get muddy and murky so bad so quickly, and so that keeps the lakes nice and clean and fresh, which makes the fish fresh and clean. And so if you eat the fish, you're getting good quality fish.
And again, if you have an Illinois fishing license, there's no charge.
That's right.
But you have to have a license to fish.
Yes, you have to. It's in Illinois, and we have to abide by the Illinois rules. But yeah, if you have a fishing license, Illinois fishing license, you're welcome to fish anytime.
Very, very pretty.
It's a beautiful place.
This remarkable state park is open year-round, and there are shooting events scheduled every month of the year. With another Illinois story in Sparta, I'm Mark McDonald. Thanks for watching.
Illinois Stories is brought to you by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting and by the support of viewers like you. Thank you. For a DVD copy of the program you've just seen, send $19.95 to Network Knowledge, P.O. Box 6248, Springfield, Illinois 62708. Be sure to include the program name, subject, and when the program aired. You can also order with your credit card by calling 800-232-3605.